Hello. Today I would love to help you find understanding and a sense of relief and hope around insomnia or any kind of struggle with sleeping. I don't know if I would call myself someone who has suffered from insomnia, but I certainly have had for most of my life a hard time winding down for bed. Um, It's usually the time when I'm trying to get quiet and I want to presence a few things that are true in my experience. And perhaps you can see some parts of your experience. I think that's very important for us to spend a few minutes there, after which I anticipate I'll be opening up the Akashic records, the home, the library of our soul and soul's history for us as a collective. And there's usually some very simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but simple, straightforward advice that may come through. It's hard to predict how it will come through. Maybe there's a visual, a story, a direct message that I will relay through words. Whatever it might be, if this is something that you relate to as struggling with sleeping, staying asleep through the night, um, falling asleep, waking up feeling rested. There's so many versions of ways where we can feel like we're not getting optimal sleep. And it's such an important thing as a human, as an animal, the animalistic beings that we are, to get good sleep. And it's so easy for a lion or a tiger or a monkey or a rabbit to just slow down and sleep, I think, because they're either hunting or eating or mating, and then they just get to rest in between after everything else that they do in their day. They don't have electronics and other kinds of technology or worries and pressures of your task list for the next day that we as humans in the 3D world tend to carry. So, um, those are some things that I find when I'm slowing down and I am thinking about, okay, I'm ready to wind down, but then I'll start remembering, oh, I need to do this thing. Oh, I didn't get that thing done. Oh, this is a quick thing. I can go online and get it done. Or, oh, I just want to have some more wind down time. So let me watch one more episode of that show or read this blog or whatever it might be, your rabbit hole of choice, let's say. And an hour or two later of scrolling, of reading or watching, you're like, oh, here I am, still awake, still not quite able to sleep. Or your experience might be different from mine. You might be able to fall asleep just great, but then you wake up in the middle of the night and it's a struggle to go back to sleep because you can't get yourself to calm yourself down, or your partner or your pet is snoring. We have all these things going on in our lives that can get in the way of getting good sleep. And so I felt called to, after myself experiencing one of those nights yesterday, to, okay, maybe this topic is alive for me and perhaps for you when you are seeing this video. I feel called to invite you to set an intention. Like, what aspect of sleep, now that you've been listening to me share and may have recognized, like the step of observing, witnessing, recognizing is super important. And now that you've observed yourself as this neutral witness, I really invite you to compassionately see what's happening. It's like, oh, something is off, something's not quite right, or this is this been this eternal struggle in some ways. Not to label it so strongly, but it feels like that to some part of you. With that, what is the intention you want to bring into this practice? Treat this as a beautiful meditative ritual, you taking time to connect to parts of you subconsciously deep within. Um, you may not even recognize consciously what happens through the meditation slash channeling that I do within the records, but you can set an intention. You are a powerful being, and all I'm doing is um, building trust and a container for you to receive yourself. What would you like to receive? Would you like to receive more continuous sleep through the night. Maybe you want to sleep with more like, okay, and I'd love to have this a little more consistent or regular bedtime that I can trust that when my body is tired, I can close up any open threads or pause things that I'm doing and get ready to rest and let go, trusting that I can pick up those threads again. Maybe that's your intention. That feels like my intention as I say that aloud. Maybe the intention is whatever number of hours of sleep I get, because it varies depending on the day and my workload and my life, because it changes given travel or family or work, whatever might be true for you. I just want to wake up rested and rejuvenated and eager to tap into the day and not feel the call and pull of my bed again. So, giving you a moment now to set that intention for yourself while I hold space for those coming in. And if you're clear, take a moment to hydrate, find a crystal, maybe have a journal or a notes app of some sort nearby. You may want to capture a few things at the very end, is what I'm hearing from my guides, my higher power. And trusting that you are ready now. What you can expect again is me inviting you to ground, maybe a short meditation just to help you settle into your body in a more receptive space. And from there, I'll say a prayer. If you're new to this practice, it's really a sequence of words that act as this vibrational key to connect to the energy that is the Akashic records. It is not mandatory to use one. You can just set an intention and connect. It creates trust for many parts of me, and I know my clients too. When you've gone through a ritual, it's a sequence of steps. And it's once you do that, so many parts of you are like, all right, and we're here, we're in the records. And I may start to sense, feel, see energy that needs to be translated and conveyed to you. And I will do that. Know that you're always welcome to pause me. Um, know that everything I say is an invitation and trust your inner discernment and truth. If something doesn't resonate or doesn't land or feels like, well, that doesn't really apply to me, feel free to discard it. And at the same time, notice if you are resisting a message, which can perhaps feel like the same thing, where the guides might say something, as I call them. You are welcome to replace the term guides with universe, God, source, whatever higher power you trust and believe in. But mm, notice if you are resisting a certain message because, "Huh, I don't do that, or that's not who I am. And just sit with any resistance that comes up, at least for a day, I would say, and just interrogate it, just gently, not in this, I have to have an answer now in the next 2 hours, but hmm, I wonder what that came up for me. Hmm. And that's going to put you in the space of curiosity and openness. And maybe there's an invitation there to push through the resistance and try the recommendation from the guides, or maybe it's just not for you. But I invite you to practice that as you listen. With that, I'm feeling that we are ready to tap in. I'm going to keep my Akashic Record prayer handy. We are good on time. Let's take a moment now to take a deep breath. Start by exhaling all the air from your belly, from your torso, and inhaling deep through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth, lengthening that exhale. Two more breaths like this. In through your nose, feeling that expansion in your belly and torso, and letting go. Letting your shoulders soften, your body relax. Any muscles that feel tight, let them Just gently let go if that feels right for you. One last time. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Ooh. Sighing out. Ooh. How does that feel now? How does your body receive that practice? Just taking a moment now to recognize how relaxed or open your muscles feel. Even if there's resistance in parts of you, I can feel openness in my legs, not so much in my knees, interestingly, but down my calves, my thighs, my back, a little bit of tightness in my lower back. What's true for you? Just this is a moment to recognize and receive that. They're saying, the guides are saying how this is important for us to know where we tend to hold attention because that's also what holds us back from getting great sleep, is what they're saying. So just make a mental note of it, saying that you can always come back to these three simple breaths to relax and seeing what residual tension remains in the body after that. And with that, the guides feel ready to help us connect to the record. So just keeping your eyes closed or gently open, whatever helps you tune in inward into all parts of you best. I invite you to listen as I say these words. Of the light we see all around us, trust that you can connect deeply within. Trust that you can connect deeply throughout, and trust that you can connect deeply above and below. This is the path to connect. Connect to the space above, the ground below, and all the energy and beings that you channel through at this time. This is the way, this is the space, this is the energy that you feel. Trust and connect and let it all be revealed. Set aside your doubts, set aside yourself, set aside any concern. Let yourself feel the energy of unconditional love. This is the magic, this is the beauty, this is the essence of the records. Trust that you are within them, one with them now and always and forevermore. Say this prayer and all will be revealed. Pause now and all future possibilities. Say this prayer, say these words, and trust that you are delivered to the doorstep to love. Deep connection of knowing and understanding who you truly are. This is the space. Welcome. The Akashic records are now open. Ooh, such a surge of energy that came through me as I said those last few words. It's always interesting for me to notice how the energy shows up each time I connect, and I invite you to notice, how does that show up for you? Do you feel it as a sensation in your body? Maybe there are colors showing up in your mind's eye. Maybe you're hearing something, wondering if you're hearing something, maybe a song, a sound, a word. Feel free to pause me to tune in yourself. Or feel free to listen to your own information that you're receiving over and above my own. I'm taking a moment to tune in as well, and let's see what the guides have to say, or show, perhaps. I feel like I can see somebody sleeping. I might take a moment and double check what I'm seeing or feeling. Somebody sleeping. I feel like there's a very purpley blue energy to what I'm seeing. Like there's a bed, I'm seeing a headboard and the base of the bed platform. What's it called? In this little spacey space, unless the guides give me the word, it's hard for me to completely translate. Let's see. They're saying that's sufficient to describe it. So, okay. And what's interesting is it's not the way we generally look at a bed. Like, I feel like when we walk into our bedrooms, we often see the headboard of the bed against a wall. And instead, I feel like I'm seeing the headboard facing me and then the bed at an angle extending with shades of blue and purple on the coverlet or sheets that I'm looking at. I'm not quite sure why that's significant yet. I feel like it's nighttime. I can almost hear the hoot of an owl in the distance. I can see moonlight somewhere. There's also a watery energy, and I can't quite tell where it is, but it's off in the distance, is what it feels like. And I'm wondering, what does this represent or signify for us all? Why are we seeing this visual? I'm starting to hear the guides, so I'm going to let them through with what they have to say. Um, I keep hearing the same thing. To sleep is to float. To sleep is to float. It's a state of being where you're not as grounded as you are during the day, but to sleep is to float. That makes sense to me because there's so much about astral traveling through sleep, and it's a very different state and brainwave state, I want to say personally from me. It's not the guide, this is me. um, and so I'm like, to sleep is to float. So I wonder what they want to say about that. Tell us more. To sleep is to float. And so you want to be doing things that encourage you to float. And I'm seeing myself float on water. Um, just like laying back and letting myself almost slowly, gently float down with my back in the water down this lazy river is what it feels like. And they're saying, like, how do you let yourself float? Like, what would you do? Answer that question. What would you do? You wouldn't let yourself be burdened by something heavy. You would let go of any worries. You would take deep breaths. You would relax and you would let yourself be carried. You would surrender. It's all but the same. You're traveling, you are floating in a field of sleep. It's an energetic quality that many of you are finding that it's harder and harder to get to. It's scary for some parts of you. It's hard because you almost feel afraid that you will float away, or just take a moment to recognize that. And you let go of something important and not be able to come back into reality to take care of it. And so you hold on, like, I need to work more. I need to do this for longer. Or it you're able to let go of it, float on this field of dreams is also what I heard. And then the thing you want to get done or the worries that you have, they come back a knocking, is what they're saying. Come back a knocking. And then they wake you up in the middle of your sleep and they pull you out of that field of dreams. I love this term. Um, I wonder if there's a song by this name. It just feels like a title of a song, really. And I'm just sitting for a moment here, recognizing some part of me wants them to go on and get on with the message, and some part of me is absolutely enjoying the slow unveiling of how does this tie to our intentions. But I trust, and I will see how this flows through, and I trust you can play more with the pacing because you have the magic of technology at your fingertips now. You can speed me up, you can follow the transcript, you can do many more things on many platforms. You are able to listen to this on or view this on. I don't know why I had all those chills for that, but mm, and so I'm curious from the guide's perspective, how can we practice floating more? Seems to be their advice, their guidance for getting better sleep. But how do we deal with the fact that we have these worries, these things that we need to get to during our day that may be preventing us from slowing down, surrendering, leaning back, and then interrupting us in the middle of the night? How do we resolve that? How do we manage that energy? What an immediate answer. You put it in a box. You put it in a box and you put it away. That's how you deal with things in your day to day too. You close up your email inbox, you put it away. You can't take care of something right now, you put it away. Oh, you want to make a meal, but you're not going to cook it right away. You put it all the ingredients go in the refrigerator or the pantry or somewhere in your kitchen. You put it away. You put it away. You put it away. Keep repeating things, and I'm having a laugh here about that more than usual. Hmm. I'm going to check in, like, who are you as guides? Are you some kind of entity, energy that wants to be named somehow? Yeah, we are your sleep guides. We are the ones who are always trying to help you sleep. You can call on us. Our first and foremost recommendation, and very businesslike, would not have expected that, is to help you get sleep. And we want you to get good sleep, just like you're asking to get good sleep. We want that for you too. We invite you to invite us to help you sleep. It's as simple as that. Right when you sit down, right when you sit down and lie down and call on us, we'll be right there helping you, tucking you in, helping you. I can almost see all these guides coming around us and just like stroking our brain waves, helping it slow down. It's really funny. They look like lab scientists, and I hope that doesn't worry you or freak you out. I don't know if people who do sleep studies, if the people who monitor you look like that. It just gave me that impression of like a white coat and like black trousers and bespectacled guides, and they're all like bustling around like they're like, we're doing the work, we're doing the heavy lifting, we're doing all the things to help you slow down and sleep. Like, we can take care of that. You can give us things for us to carry, for us to box. You don't even have to do all the boxing. They're saying if there's something nagging, niggling worry, actually, is what they're saying, a niggling worry. If there's something like that, you can write it down on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be something sacred. It doesn't have to be this precious diary, is what they're saying. It can just be a post it, a scrap of paper, a note in your phone, even they're saying. But it feels like you capturing it somewhere is a signal to your brain that, oh, okay, I will take care of this later. And if you can do it with that intentionality, is what I'm hearing, then you can let go of that from your energy field, because they're saying that your energy field looks so crowded when you are trying to go to sleep. All these needs, all these things and that you hope to accomplish, achieve, do, are all crowding around in your aura. And they're saying that's not going to help you sleep. Remember, you don't want to have anything heavy on you if you're trying to float. How would you float? You have to unburden yourself. You have to let go. Some of you might need journaling. Some of you might need to do something restorative. They're showing me stretching, like something that looks like a yoga move. It's not yoga nidra. It's like I see someone on a mat and just stretching for their stiffness, and there's tension in the body that you're carrying. And they're reminding us of how we had observed where we feel stiffness in the body. And how can you, they're saying it doesn't have to be an elaborate yoga class on the mat, but they're saying, how can you stretch those body parts before you sleep rather than expecting your body to relax while sleeping? No, you carry that stiffness, you carry that tension into bed, into your sleep, and then you can't float. For a stiff body doesn't float, it sinks. And so you pop out of sleep just like that when the tension becomes too great and your body is calling for attention. So they're saying that For each of you, the medicine, the recipe, the solution looks different. Lots of chills on that. There's no one size fits all. I don't really see some of these phrases, and so it's quite interesting to hear the guides bring this through. Let's see, what are they saying? They're saying, yes, it's not a one size fits all, but as we are relaying these, see what makes most sense for you and start small, is what they're saying. Like, start with one step. Maybe it's a quick stretch for your arms, and they're showing me. If you're watching me as I'm saying this, I'm just raising my arms up and stretching it. You might be able to see my arms appear and disappear given my background. Or a neck roll. Hmm, who knew I'm going to be doing stretching on this video? Um, what else are they saying? Or it just might be writing down, like, here are three things you want to get done for the next day. Here are three things that you did today. Here are three things you couldn't get done today. Acknowledging what didn't get done and setting intentions for what you could get done are very helpful things, because it's almost like you adding that to the field of dreams and floating that alongside you. Yeah, I almost saw a ball of energy float by next to me on in this water. It felt really cool. I'm also noticing like a splash of water around my feet. And so it made me wonder, is this some kind of grounding? Is this some kind of letting go or rooting? Hmm. Is it important for us to ground to sleep? Then what are I'm getting a no. So not a very specific yes or no. Is just they're saying, yeah, if grounding is helpful for you, you can ground. But really, what matters is all the things that help you let go of tension, let go of stiffness. I constantly keep feeling like I need to stretch my body and help you let go of worries. Put them in the field of dreams alongside you. That's how we can help take care of that too. We can send that energy to the right guide somewhere and they can deliver a message or response to you. Haven't you heard how people talk about sleep on it? And then magically the next day you come up with an answer, an insight, an idea. It's got through this practice. So we are delivery people as well. We deliver you into the field of dreams. And we also help deliver your questions and receive answers because it's a very powerful time. So much of you is connected to so much else all around you. It's like being plugged into the core of the universe, is what it feels like. It's like your brain is able to sort through so much information, energy, clear, almost like defragmentation in a computer, is what I heard and felt it like. And you can download so many things that you want to from the core of the universe. So you can set intentions for that. Like, so many of you can powerfully receive and heal when you sleep, and you are limiting yourself by not seeing that possibility for you, for you, for you. So we also encourage you and implore you to try to set intentions for how can you feel better and heal and improve through your sleep, because you can I keep hearing this phrase, to plug into the core of the universe. There is much more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding over there that you can receive. You can receive. You can receive. Ooh, and with that, I think the message is complete. That was quite fascinating ride. So thank you for your shared energy. I would encourage you to note down at least one thing that really stood out to you as an easy, accessible, they said small step. I would also say yes to the small step. That resonates with my philosophy, probably why I got the message. And to me, I think it's just writing down things that I haven't gotten done or want to get done. And I also, and I've been doing more of that lately. So maybe my next step is actually to set intentions for healing or information that I'd like to receive through sleep and see what comes up. I'm going to ask the guides one more question. Let me see how my energy flow works because this has been running longer than I intended. Um, so what do we do about waking up refreshed, rejuvenated, remembering our dreams and information we need to receive? How do we not wake up with this sense of like anxiety and worry? Or how can we improve that feeling when we wake up? Oh, I'm hearing it's back to setting those intentions when you sleep. Many of you are falling asleep just like exhausted and drained. And so, in some ways, you are calling that energy in again. It's like, "Oh, finally got sleep. I'm so tired." And it keeps cycle, that cycle keeps getting perpetuated, is what I'm hearing. How can you say to yourself a simple sentence? It's just like an affirmation. Oh, I can't wait to get beautiful, rejuvenating sleep today, and I will feel refreshed when I wake up. They're saying it's as simple as that. Many of you are not doing that. That's true. I am not doing any intentional. How do I want to feel when I wake up? Saying, um, yeah, gadgets, devices, those things, yes, they can put you in a certain energetic space or place, which makes it harder to feel relaxed in the morning if you open those up. Because I mentally started to ask them, but should we not check our phones in the morning is kind of the go-to advice that I often hear. But they're saying, but it's not the device really that's triggering that. It's really your response to the device that's creating a certain feeling state in your body. And you can change the feeling state. You can be like, well, I opened up my phone, but I am feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. And that will carry you through to that feeling state when you wake up even more. And we can help because you stated your intention. That makes sense. All right. Well, with that, I think we've addressed it all. I'm going to check. Um, let's talk about sleep wake ups in the middle of the night. Is that just a matter of doing all these things, or is there something specific for people who wake up in the middle of the night that they need to do? Hmm. Why am I not getting an answer? Are we not supposed to answer this now? That already covered. Okay. So I also checked in and it feels like whatever guidance they gave for on everything so far about sleep also applies to if you were to wake up in the middle of the night, it's back to calling in these sleep guides, letting go of anything that's potentially keeping you up, stretching your body and letting go of any tension spots and allowing yourself to float on water. It's almost you can visualize or imagine yourself floating on water, and that will also help you sleep. And these guides will help too. And setting the intention to feel refreshed and rejuvenated seem to be all the steps that they recommended. I think if there's anything more, it will show up in the transcript. And when I get a chance, I'm going to put that in the description below so you have those for reference too. With that, thank you for letting me journey with you on this front. If you received any other guidance personally for yourself, feel free to leave a comment below, send me a message or a DM at Nikki.Joshi on Instagram. Or um, if you're not on my mailing list, I recommend you get on my Akashic Weekly Insights mailing list because there's so many magical messages that are deeply soul activating that are on there. And if you feel called to receive a much more personalized, custom um, set of messages for you and your life situation right now, I have Soul Quest sessions available. Um, and I'm taking clients, so here to support you on your personal journey. I thank you for receiving. Also, again, I'm gonna say I'm very curious. If you got something more, would love to hear. And if not, there's no pressure. I want to say thank you and close up the records by saying a short closing prayer, inviting you to stay with me for these last few lines and saying your gratitude and thank you to all parts of you, your guides, your higher power, for being willing to receive. I thank the magic of the space. I thank all the energies and beings that I channeled through at this time. I give gratitude to everything that came through. The records are now closed, the records are now closed, the records are now closed. And so it is with love and gratitude. Thank you.